Romance. A concept that has always appeared regardless of its own concept. Yet despite that, without this concept, we wouldn't receive these iconic stories and inspiring couples like, for instance, Bulma Vegeta, Naruto Hinata, Asuna and Kirito, Ban and Elaine, Zhao and Lumi. Oh wait, that's for another video. Anyway, which is why we think we might have found this decade's inspiring couple. Take it away, Sean. Sean? Oh, that mother. How's it going, guys? Doing alright? Great! I know it's been some time since our last reason to watch video. Jesus Christ, is that been that long? Anyway, we figured we might as well talk about a series that has taken the otaku community by storm. Isn't that right, Sean? Oh! What? Have you forgotten we have a show to do? What's with the attitude all of a sudden, boyo? My attitude? Well, excuse me, it's not like I was just acknowledged or something. Oh wait, I was. So stop being a freaking idiot and get on with the show. You freaking idiot. On this episode of Reason to Watch, we're going to be talking about Dandadan. It's Dandadan. Where it was first published on Shonen Jump Plus on 2021 April, to then being bought by Viz Media on February 2022, to then being released late last year, where it reached phenomenal levels of popularity as it being the most watched anime to ever come out and most talked about. And I know what you're probably saying. The only reason you're talking about this series is because it's the most talked about series right now. And to that I say, yes. I mean, you said it yourself. It's currently the most talked about anime series out there. I mean, this series is reaching the same level of notoriety as My Hero Academia. But somewhat. Also, it also has a very interesting origin story on how this series came to be. So, with that out of the way, let's do this one more time. This series was created and written by one Yukinobu Tatsu. And who's that, you ask? We have no idea. That is when we did the research for this video. And oh boy, does this man have a truly unexpected backstory to his origin. You see guys, like most mangakans out there, they had mundane jobs before they became the mangakans that we have come to know them by. But when it comes to Yukinobu Sensei, well, that's another whole kind of baked beans. Anyway, course that is, his mundane day-to-day job before becoming the manga author that we have come to know him by was being an assistant.
Sorry. Wait, I live this way.
Assistant, you know, the job where you do other people's work for them and don't get any acknowledgement for their contribution. Something Boyo has a lot in common, guys. Right, Boyo? Anyway, what type of assistant was Yukinobu Sensei? Well, he was an assistant for mangakans. And just who were these other mangakans that he assisted on? Oh, just Tatsuki Fujimoto Sensei and Yuji Kaku Sensei. Two of the most infamous, somewhat, mangakans of this decade were Yukinobu Sensei's mentors. Yes, we're not kidding. He was truly fortunate enough to be mentored by these so-called juggernauts of this decade's industry, as they saw something in Yukinobu Sensei that no one had, because he is one of the most supporting mangakans out there. Now, it's no secret that becoming a mangakan is not an easy task, as you have to create a series that captivates its audience, which is why there are lots of diamonds in the rough out there that never got their shot. That is, until Yukinobu Sensei came to, as he's well known for promoting other mangakans on his social media platform. As a former mangakan assistant, he understands the hardship and dedication when it comes to creating a series, which is why he's paying it forward with his own notoriety, which is why we consider him to be one of the greatest mangakans of this decade, because instead of using his own popularity to promote himself, he's using his own notoriety to help others out. Right, with that explanation out of the way, we can finally get to the good part of this video. It's story time.
Why am I always like this?
I'm sorry, Miss Ayase.
I'm sorry, Okarun.
We begin the series on episode 1, or chapter 1 of volume 1 for those out there who prefer to read the manga, with a very unorthodox beginning. You see, unlike most beginnings where we begin with the protagonist waking up from his bed, getting ready for school, we start out with a breakup.
I said, if you ain't gonna lend me no cash, I ain't taking you on no date.
This is our protagonist of this series, Momo Ayase. Now I know what you're thinking, oh, she's your typical stereotypical Garu bitch, isn't she? And to that I say, no. Apart from the bitch part, which she occasionally is.
Huh?
Anyway, what type of Garu is Momo? Well, I can't say, as I too can't differentiate the difference with Garus. But if you are interested in knowing more about Garu culture, I recommend watching Miss Misha Matic's video on Garu culture, which I'll be leaving a link right there. But if you do click on the video, please tell her that Brian sent you. You're such an idiot that it's so disappointing, idiot. Anyway, Momo. What a truly captivating character to ever come out of this decade. I mean, her character design is truly remarkable and mesmerizing. From her clothes, to her accessories, to her makeup, to her needs. Why all of a sudden do I feel so creeped out all of a sudden? You fucking pervert! Wait! Let's just forget what happened, right? And just move on from this, shall we? Look, boy, the way you sounded a lot like Minnie. Moving on! So laddies, as Momo is getting dumped by her absolute gobshite of a so-called boyfriend for not satisfying his own needs, which, by the way, off topic, if you're somewhat like this gobshite in real life, you better hope I don't find you, because if I do find you, I will shove my foot right up your... Then Momo confided to her friends about the events that have transpired! So, after confiding with her friends, Momo decides to skip class. As she's walking through the hallway, is when Momo notices a guy being bullied by his classmates. And instead of confronting him, is,
Like you do.
I'm gonna get you one day, Soren. Just you wait. Momo instead sat in their way, where she meets our supporting character. No, before you get your knickers in a twist, first, yes, he's a supporting character, as this series' story is centrally focused on Momo's point of view. Secondly, what's wrong with having a female protagonist with male supporting character? I mean, these lads have no problem with it. Now with that issue out of the way, we can finally move on. Oil? Oh yeah, right, I completely forgot about those guys. So after Momo stops the bullies and talks to him for a bit, she proceeds with her previous task at hand, where our boy made quite a unique introduction.
Look! Project Pegasus! The US president went to Mars and met with aliens!
Wait, what?
So anyway, while they were talking, they began to argue with each other about what they believed in. With Okarun, what she decides to call him because she didn't ask for his name, who believed in aliens conspiracy, while Momo believed in the supernatural. Not that supernatural. So they each decided to settle their difference by daring each other to visit an alien and supernatural sighting location, with Okarun heading to an abandoned tunnel while Momo heads toward an abandoned building, where not for long, they get attacked. With Okarun getting possessed by a spirit while Momo is being abducted by aliens. As she's being held against her will by aliens who plan to, well, I'll let them explain.
For our species to regain reproductive functions, we require the use of your banana organs.
As they're about to
We shall have intercourse with you.
that to Momo when suddenly her phone starts to ring. And it's...
And his name is John C.
Apologies. I had to do it. I mean, he was screaming right there. I mean, come on. I had to do it. Anyway, he comes through the phone and takes on the aliens while getting possessed by Turbo Granny. Then gives a very, very touching speech.
All I ever wanted was to meet an alien! I never had any friends, and I thought if anyone would be friends with me, it'd be aliens! Ever since grade school, I've been staring up at the sky and calling out for you guys to show up! But you never did! No matter how many times I called out to you, you never came! There I was, bullied by kids and ignored by aliens. My life sucked! No one gave a crap if I was alive or dead. But Miss Ayase, she's the only one who stood up for me! So get your lousy hands off her!
Then proceeds to pass out.
Sorry, I don't think I can save you.
But after hearing his emotional speech, Momo awakens her spiritual abilities, which she then uses to take down the aliens, and where they proceed to face other spiritual entities, aliens, and meet new characters, while also blossoming their own relationship, which is truly a spectacular to watch. Now, with the story out the way, laddies, we can finally move... Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Okarun's real name is Ken Takakura. Don't. It's Ken Takakura.
Liar! No name!
It is Ken Takakura.
Ah, no! I don't...
That's his legal name, Ken Takakura. Don't. Oh yeah, what is she going to do about... Oh Once the idiot, always the idiot. Moving on, ladies, on to the next subject of this video. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, laddies, and say that this series uses a unique concept to its storytelling, as that will be a big fat lie, as there are other series that uses similar concepts out there. But it does have a unique approach to it, as some of you laddies might have noticed that some of the characters' mannerisms felt somewhat...
No.
What's Ben Schwartz doing in this video? Cameo, maybe? Anyway, that's because its use of references, specifically Japanese-based references. You laddies know, right, that Japan is known more than just anime, right? Right? Anyway, it uses references from TV shows, movies, anime, and actors in each episode. For example, when Momo is skipping class, she does the Doflamingo walk. And then we have our boy, Ken Okarun, who's named after the famous TV star of the same name. But those are the ones that I can point out in this video for now. But if you are interested in knowing more references that they speak about in Dandadan, I'll leave a playlist for you where you can find out every single references that were made in Dandadan, right here. Because this series doesn't use its references as a way to break the fourth wall like others do. Instead, it uses it to make the wall feel realistic. You see, every references that appears in the series is not as a joke, as it's used to make a character feel more relatable. Which is why this series is popular, as it uses a concept that is commonly used for jokes to instead is used to make the characters be more relatable. But this isn't the only thing that made this series popular, as the other crucial component to its popularity is its theme of empathy.
Mommy.
You see, empathy is a theme that is used very little in this decade, which is why other series tend to use it only in a single episode, showing how pointless it is. While other series use it as a basis, are considered to be lackluster. But not with Dandadan, as it uses the theme to understand why the spirits, aliens, and characters are the way they are. Like Okurun, a boy who was ostracized by his peers for his interests when he only wanted to make a friend. Turbo Granny, a spirit who chose to contain the malice of tortured souls from breaking out to the city. And then there's Aerobatic Silky. Now, if you're someone who hasn't watched or read the Aerobatic Silky arc from Dandadan, please skip ahead to the timeline. Please skip to the timeline ahead, as this is your spoiler warning, as this is something you have to experience yourself, because what I'm about to say is truly trigger inducing. So please, your discretion is advised. A mother who had to do inhumane work, not because she had a choice. No, it's because she had no other choice. A gamble with her own life and sanity, all to make one little girl happy. And a smile that is worth 1,000 sunrise. But,
Are you hungry?
like any gambler should know, you have to deal with the cards you dealt with.
You holding out on us? Since I'm done, happy?
And in the end, she still got to experience that sunrise again. She did.
To a kinder world.
Look, laddies, regardless of our opinion, this series is truly one of a kind, as it uses tropes that are commonly used for jokes to instead be used to elevate its story. But if that's not your cup of tea, you can also appreciate the amazing work done by Studio Science Saru for their animation, art style, and cast. By the way, we also recommend you guys checking out the dub, because it's truly a phenomenal work. The voice actors portray the characters exactly like the original version and elevate their performance, all thanks to the studio in charge of the dub work. So please check it out if you can. But like we always say in these videos, the best opinion when it comes to anything in life is your very own. So check it out yourself on Netflix or other means, as season 2 is about to come out soon and you need to catch up before the next season is released, because this series is a reason to watch. Thank you so much for watching this video, as it truly helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and as it shows that you care about the little guy like us who are trying to make a name for ourselves. Thank you so much. And I'm Brian saying Nandri Wanakam.